Okay, I'm going to look at the adding and subtracting rational expressions 2 worksheet with you. Uh, Remember, you want to factor the especially the denominators as far as they can go. Sometimes want to factor the numerators, but always want to factor the denominators. So I'm looking at the denominator of the first fraction. There's no common factors, so I'm going straight to the star and putting in the numbers. So I need to multiply to get 6 and add to get -5. So it's going to be -2 and -3. So you put those in your parentheses. You got x minus 2, x minus 3, and then I'm going to cross off the original denominator. And then I always look, can I cancel anything out? Because if you can cancel it initially, then it will save you a lot of work later. And then this one, nothing's going to cancel. So I'm just going to start switching the denominators around to make sure that they become the same. So the first fraction has two factors. Got the x minus 2 and the x minus 3. Neither of those factors show up in the other fractions, so I need both of them. So I put x minus 2, x minus 3. And whatever I put on the bottom, I have to put on the top. And now I'm double checking my denominators, make sure they are the same. I got the x minus 3 in both, x minus 2 in both. The 1 is over here, so I could add a 1 if I wanted to, or multiply a 1 if I wanted to, but 1 doesn't change anything, so you don't care about the 1. Once the denominators are the same, I write the common denominator out, and then multiply the numerators. So 1 times 4 is going to be 4x. And over here, I need to multiply the 2 into the first parenthesis, and then the result of that is going to multiply in the second. So I'm going to write the first step over here, so 2x minus 4, and then that 2x minus 4 has to get multiplied into x minus 3. And then I'm going to distribute this in here and write the result of that down below. So 2x times x will be 2x squared. 2x times -3, -6x. -4 times the x, -4x. And then positive 12. So there's all my pieces for the numerator. Now I just need to combine all my like terms, put it over my common denominator, and then I'm all set. So there's only 1x squared there, so 2x squared drops down. And I've got some x terms to add together. Well, the 4x and the -4x will just cancel each other out. So I can just drop down the -6x. And then I just drop down the 12. And then write my common denominator underneath it. And then I'm all set. Okay, number 2. Remember I said you want to simplify anything at the beginning. So if you look at this first fraction, the 4 over 2, I can simplify that down to 2 over 1. Okay, now that k kind of got covered up there, so the k is still there, but the 2 became 1. So this is 1k in the bottom. Then the denominator in the other fraction I want to factor. So that 3 is coming out, and I'm left with k minus 4. So that turned into the 3 times k minus 4. Then I look at the other fraction. Can I simplify anything here? No, the factors are different. The k minus 3 does not cancel with the k minus 4. And don't try to cancel these 3's. Okay, that'll mess you up. So now we just switch denominators around and make them all match up. So the first fraction has a k. It has a 1 too, but I don't care about the 1. But the k I do care about. I need to put a k on the other fraction, top and bottom. Then the second fraction has a 3 and a k minus 4. Neither of those show up in the first one, so I need both the 3 and the k minus 4. Okay, once I check my denominators, make sure they all match. I have 3 in both, k minus 4 in both, and a k in both. so everything matches up. So now I just multiply the numerators, and then I got my answer. When they, like this first fraction, both the 3 and the 2 are going to get distributed in. So what I would do is just do 3 times 2. That's going to give me 6, and then that 6 is going to get distributed in. So that's going to give me 6k minus 24. So that's the first fraction. Then I go over to the second one, and that k is going to get distributed here, but also this negative. So what some people like to do is change that to a plus, and then just change your signs, and then distribute your k. So that's going to be negative k times k, be negative k squared. 3 times k, 3k. And then on the bottom, I'm going to write my common denominator. Now the k and the 3, I'm going to put those guys in the front, just because that's how you usually see it. So I have 3k times k minus 4. Then on top, just combine like terms. So we got negative k squared. We have a 6k combining with the 3k. So 6 plus 3 is 9. And then we have a negative 24. All over the common denominator. Okay, number 3 is going to be a lot like number 1. We're going to factor the bottom. Number 4, there's nothing that will factor out of the denominators. So those don't change. The numerator up on the top right, you could take out a 2, but then you want to check, will anything cancel? And if nothing cancels out, then there's no point in factoring out that 2. So I wouldn't factor it out because you're going to have to multiply it back in. But you want to think about it, because if it would cancel, then you definitely want to do it now instead of later. But in number 4, nothing's going to cancel, so you just switch your denominators. So the first one needs an m plus 6. Put that on top and bottom, and then the second one needs an m minus 4. So now you'll just distribute your numerators and put it over your common denominator, and then combine like terms. So that's the basics of it right there. You simplify anything that will simplify, factor, simplify again if you can after factoring, and then get the denominators the same. And once you have common denominators, multiply the numerators and combine like terms.